Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Xu. Thank you for your kind introduction and thank you very much for your invitation. My name is Andy Xu. I'm from iPhone. So what I'm going to share with you is about the reform of marketing in this connected age. Well, in the year 1997, IBM started the first China's digital banner advertising, which initiated China's digital marketing era. And then it developed from a billion to 10 billion to 100 billion level. And in terms of its acceleration, it's really explosive growth, accelerated growth. And its evolution pathway is very typical of a fast-growing economy. And now it's at the age of 100 billion yuan. It's more than 100% of growth rate. But we're still faced with three major challenges. One, our emotional engagement is no longer real, even though we have explosive growth of ICT. And we have WeChat, and we have Weibo, and we are connected, but we are only familiar strangers. We are engaged for once or several times, but they are still strangers to us because we don't have enough time to engage truly emotionally. And there's no way for us to invest our emotions in any of the relations. Second challenge. Now we have 100 flowers blossoming, but consumers' attention is getting lower and lower. 77% of visible advertising are not noticed. And the banner clicking rate is less than 0.07% in the entire East Asia region. And third program. There are so many different forms of brand advertising, like DSP. But it's harder and harder for us to target the precise audience. And especially harder for us to establish long-term and a solid relationship, not to mention an emotional engagement. By this moment, there is a new age, the new age of connectivity. And the age of connectivity is, if it's to be applied in the digital society, our relation, people to people, people to objects, people to media, and people to brand are completely changed. Where the road extends, the cooperation will follow. And in the age of connectivity, we notice that many concepts are being redefined time and again, like big data, O2O, self-generated media, mobile app, and DSP. Each company will promote their own brand or their own concept, but many of these concepts have overlapping. So behind these obvious phenomena, what are the deep-rooted change of trends? Social change, the consumer consumption pattern change, and the communication pattern change. Sylvia just said that China is rapidly changing. And in today's China, you have the coexistence of Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0. Now we move on to 4 and 5, the change of the definition of media and the change of marketing pattern. Sometimes we define ourselves as a traditional media or internet media. I would like to define ourselves as a media in the age of connectivity. And this process, for the traditional media, is the content combined with form. And in internet age, it's content, form, and relationship. And in the age of connectivity, in addition to relationship, you need to also have the service experience and the platform. So the evolution of this media relation, we can see that relationship are playing more and more important role. We can see among all the golden or the gold award winner cases, 94.3% of them have used social media, and they have relied on the second time communication. Now about the service. This brand is called the Yidaishi. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Have you ever heard of a courier service called the 人人 Courier? These two cases are two gold winners. A laundry service called Longchang. Has anyone heard of it before? Longchang Laundry Service is a traditional brand, but it's trying to take on a change. We know that many of you are very busy. You have to go to work at 8 o'clock and come off work at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. So you don't have enough time to do laundry. So what do? They accept online order. So there will be people coming to your home to pick up the laundry. And what they do is that they give you a bag. A bag will cover as many as you like. And you can stuff everything into that bag, and you pay only 99 yuan. So it is a very good O2O case. And the Renren Courier's case, when we were discussing, the CEO of Renren Courier, he said that we want to beat Yuantong or Shentong because they believe everybody can become a courier agent. As long as you're a member of this circle, this community, this Renren Courier, then everyone can be a courier service agent and make some money. And you know about during China Spring Festival period, the most popular game show was actually the red pouch, and the red pouch is also relying on each and every individual of your community. And at the beginning of this year, Chai Jing, she made a documentary, a smog investigation. And while we are looking at her documentary, we are paying more and more attention to what's going on in our environment. So iPhone, the Phoenix, we have worked together with many companies, including automakers. We generate many more topics on top of that good content. So we think a good content will generate more good topics, more relationships, and more services. Last year, we surveyed more than hundreds of CMOs. 91% of CMOs think good content are critical factors for successful marketing. And 78% of CMO, they believe that customized content will represent the future of marketing. So where does this content come from? Tell you, they are just by your side. They are just simply around you. Not a few days ago, I was in marathon of Beijing. I ran for 15 kilometers, but then I took metro line. Last year, I remember in last year's Beijing Marathon, you cannot see the other racers right in front of you, 15 meters ahead of you, because that represents the friction between GDP and PM 2.5. China is a hasty country. Everybody is in a haste. We all want to enjoy a bit of the quality of life. We all want to come back to the simplicity, a simple life. But in this social trend, we must.
From consumer insight. For example, during the Spring Festival, there are a lot of comments from consumers, and we can also get insight from social elite, and everything can be found from our big data system, from big data analytics. If we are able to get consumer insights, then we should know that everything should be centered around people. The content should be based on people. I think the content is not only about brands, because sometimes we believe, well, the brand did something and then consumers paid attention to that. Well, that's true, but this kind of content is not effective. Maybe consumers clicked this content, but the conversion rate is still very low. You must make sure the content is relevant to consumers. You must make sure the content can have a real impact. For example, tabloid stories about stars, investment, tips for ordinary people, a share market, food, travel. These are the content that is really relevant to us. If we are able to turn this content into into brand marketing, then this kind of marketing will be more effective. This is what we call native marketing. So, if you only change the form of advertisement, then consumers will still feel reluctant. The only thing you need to do is to involve consumers. So we need to create a platform on which people, social trend, and media can cooperate and integrate with each other. In that way, we can catch eyeball in the short term, and we can also resonate with consumers in the long run. In 2014, we had more than 70 successful cases, bringing in 260 million revenue for Phoenix, for iPhone.com. For example, the Spring Festival, and we also had a lot of programs with auto brands. These are the successful stories we had last year, and we have won a lot of awards. Take Ford, for example. The marketing campaign increased the brand awareness by 300%. More than 9,000 people joined the trial drive, and the video has been played for more than 25 million times. Now let's look at the first case. The first case is a joint project with Philips. We believe this is one of the best. Last year, in 2009, I created the concept of creating and stealing vegetables online. This kind of concept changed people's lives. And a banker in 2009 told me a story. He said, well, my mom was 71 years old, and one day my mom said, well, you should get a nanny. Well, I thought my mom wasn't feeling well. Well, then my mom explained to me she needed to go online to steal vegetables from others. I think this is the power of branding. This is the power of marketing. And the cost of that campaign was only 1.5 million RMB. So I believe the content was the key. And this case about doctors, first of all, I want to thank our partner Philips. And Phillips asked us to create a topic to grasp a mega trend of society. It should be something positive. Well, we created the content, and with secondary distribution, the content was spread even further. Now let's look at this case. Well, in China, there are a lot of misunderstandings between doctors and patients. Doctors are not understood by patients and by their families. Or the attitude of the doctors is very bad. This is the director of this video clip. And we want to show what doctors really are to the audience. If I only have 1 year left, then I will still be a doctor. I'm a heart surgeon, and every operation I did is about life and death. I'm a pediatrician. Apart from skills, the most important thing you need to have is to love these kids, to treat them as your families, as your kids. You must establish a rapport with the kids. You must act as their parents so that you can take good care of them. I work in the ER. I'm in charge of the ER. I have to take care of every detailed stuff. I think what we're doing is to comfort the patients. I'm a perfectionist. I hope I can do everything perfect. An image is like an abstract art. Every day I have to see more than 200 pictures, and I must make sure that I got everything right. I take every picture as a story. I shouldn't miss any point, any plot in the story. Well, when a patient got ill, there's nothing you can do. It's very unfortunate, but we hope with our help, the patients can live comfortably for the rest of their lives. We should help the patients not only physically but also emotionally by giving them hope. We hope more patients will understand doctors and vice versa. The essence of being a doctor is to treat the patients, save the patients. No matter what you do, you should care for the patients. With this campaign, we also generated a lot of topics from KOLs on social media and a lot of coverage by several media channels. Mutual understanding is the most important thing. Understanding starts from now. In that case, I want to share with you 2 points. First, there's no actor in the clip. And 2 of the hospitals also sent the clip to their video clip competition and got the first prize. The CMO of the Philip was He Fei, and he challenged me. Well, we need to transmit the video. And someone believed and on that day, I started to donate money to the foundation taking care of a certain disease. So I think this is the value created by this kind of campaign, the value spread to the social media. This is the second case, our campaign with Ford. This year we had a new approach. We created a new concept, struggling generation. But this generation, or this concept, has a different connotation, because as the first generation, you have to struggle for your life. You have to compete with others. And this concept was widely accepted by mainstream media. The Spring Festival is approaching. The young generation is now facing a lot of pressure. But with Ford, you can share the cars back home. And Ford worked together with iPhone.com to come up with a new concept, the struggling generation. Well, because the young generation has to struggle and compete with rich people, in particular the rich second generation. But Jack Ma is a struggling first generation, and he is actually our role model.
拼创业怕遇到，爱家是玫瑰，美女美吗？受很多苦。 出青春的美好，拼出稳稳的幸福。
你看，拼一代、拼车、拼房、拼饭、拼颜值，这个时代也是属于你们的黄金小时代，不能同意更多呀！拼一代的同类其实不只有你们，那个热爱徒步中国的雷克。说的好空气的年轻人都是蛮拼的呢。其实拼搏是年轻人的一种特权，此时不拼更待何时？余秋露薇姐姐也告诉我们，成功的定义有很多种，现在点点滴滴的拼搏总会带来让你欣慰的成果。真的很想看看我的同类他们是怎么拼的。这里有拼勇气做公益的文艺青年，拼自信玩死飞的前沿创业者，拼激情全情投入的跑者媒体人，拼执着怀揣理想立足现实的摇滚音乐人，全是前沿又接地气的拼一代。你想先看哪一个？哇，从其他的留言上看，拼一代话题果然引起了很多共鸣啊！找到同类，有了共鸣和讨论，当然很好。但是别忘了，我们还想让爸妈和七大姑八大姨们都能理解我们拼一代。没问题，我们能在各大视频网站看到拼一代神曲 MV， 不会上网也没问题。东方卫视的娱乐新天地和上海电视台的新娱乐在线都已经报道了这位爆红网络的拼小明。哇，我的女神最爱看娱乐新天地了。有国外的朋友吗？让他们去翻翻脸书、推特和油管，雷克和驴秋姐姐的视频文章也都能看到哦。还有咱爸妈和大姨们微信玩得转吗？会玩就赶紧把这个 H5发他们看看，测试拼一代指数，没准你爸是骨灰级拼神呢。我才刚刚是拼级合格生啊。当然我们也会有段子和故事，请一定要在90后陪伴下观看哦。原来春节不一定要苦逼煽情，也不一定要逗逼无下限，拼搏也不一定是部血泪史，有一种拼让你不那么拼。福特一搏，放手去拼搏。
好，我们分享。
Now the third case to share with you, the third case, silk. Silk to Chinese, they might find it a bit unfamiliar. It's from the States, and in the dairy industry, there's fierce competition going on in China. Basically, it's Yili, Mengniu, and Bright or Sanyuan. They are carving up the Chinese market. So in China, if they are entering into China, they cannot just compete with them through regular way of competition. But now, how do we make a breakthrough through all media? And also, we think that we should get back to its original position. It's never made any, animal milk. They have no additives, and they're just plant or soy milk. So if it's got no additive, so I think we should get back to its original nature. Its nature is being pure, no additive, pure and simple. So let's roll the tape, please.
短短15天，质朴模仿这款在中国知名度为0的饮料，赢得了91万中国消费者的青睐。2015年春节，质朴模仿微信公众账号的粉丝量更增长至266万。也许是因为在中国充斥着太多的虚假，我们没有真的朋友，没有真的快乐，甚至连一瓶真的饮料也喝不到。我们渴望回归真实。这是一场与中国人真诚对话的全民调研。中国人，你真实吗？在205个城市、2580名受众的共同参与下，中国民众生活真实感受调查白皮书火热出炉了。而普通人共同的心声也引发了媒体的重磅报道，社会知名人士也纷纷以自己的真实故事讲述自己回归真实的态度。
真实就是料理的生命，让美食在自然的环境下回归真实。
任何的事业都需要诚实，都需要真实。真实是公益的生命，让公益回归真实。
真实是人性最踏实的一种东西，很多人享受不起这个真实。我珍惜我有一个真实的表达方式，让人性回归真实。
网络段子手刘吉手也加入了吐槽社会不真的大军，一条长微博迅速登上了1小时话题热门榜，发布1小时内被点赞7000多次，转发5500次。回归真实的渴望也打动了广告圈大佬们，纷纷以真实体表露心迹。质朴模仿唤醒了每个人心中回归真实的渴望。著名影星周迅、音乐人黄舒骏、资深主持人李静也欣然加入到这场回归真实的狂潮中。
真实会让你变得很轻松，真实会让你觉得，其实没有事情是那么复杂的。
我们用15天的时间创造了一些奇迹。3条关于真实的新闻报道引起了13263800次浏览，132638人下载并阅读了中国民众生活真实感受调查白皮书，235万人观看了刘一凡、邓飞与金星回归真实的故事。918279名消费者通过京东电商平台购买质朴模仿植物原饮，开始享受植物的力量。随后的2个月里，质朴模仿一路向前，进驻了1800家线下门店，完成了近1500万销售业绩。越来越多的人选择回归真实。2015年，质朴模仿发出了485万个春节红包。我们坚定地相信，真实一定会换来微笑，传递真实力量。由每瓶质朴模仿开始，由你我开始。
对这个案例里面，实际上我非常。
So in this particular case, I truly like 2 KOL's interpretation of being true. One is Jingxing coming from a public charity point of view, and like working on charity, working on philanthropy, you should also be very true. And the other endorser, the other celebrity, also talked about the importance of being truthful, being pure. So all the 3 cases, at the end of the day, is that we're getting to an age of connectivity. And the fundamentals of connectivity is being human-centered. Every day we talk about the importance of big data and multi-channel marketing, and we all need to participate. But you know what? The real participation is not about setting up virtual relationship. You need to set up true relationship. We are trying to build this relationship between humans, between products, brands, and ads. We are relying on the power of internet to generate some topics and incorporate them with some heated discussion points at this moment around our life and translate them into the discussion of your brand. So what we are doing here, not just to generate story of your brand, we incorporate them, we integrate them with our life. So they not only just generate a story for your brand, it generates a social trend. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Andy, for your time. Well, since he's gonna have to catch a flight, we may have time only for one question. I know I have overused my time. Do you have any questions? If you don't have any questions, then I'm free to go. Okay, thank you once again. Thank you, Andy.